Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Karen Odd and these are Karen's Oddities. If you're new here, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Regardless, I do want to ask that you give this video a thumbs up, comment your thoughts below, even if you disagree with my content. And I also want to ask that you share this video and our channel with one person that you know, as I'm confident there is something here that both you and they can benefit from. I just got back. It's been about a week and some change that I got back from my trip to Thailand. I did a trip with a couple of friends to celebrate one of my friends' birthdays. And while I was there at some point, I did record a YouTube video. The video that I recorded while I was outside. It was in the second part of the trip where we were in Phuket. We stayed on a villa off the beach, and there were just some beautiful, beautiful, incredible views of mountains and clouds and water and all these things behind me. So when I was done recording my video, I was like moving through the dial just to like watch the video back just to determine whether or not it's something I wanted to publicize. And as I was watching it back, I was seeing obviously the clouds, like they're always moving. They're constantly moving. They're constantly moving. So I could see like the clouds transitioning over my head in the background of the video. And, it prompted me to just start thinking about clouds and to start, I did put a question into like Gemini AI and then, which just clarified what I thought anyway. Cause I'm like, okay, these clouds, like, I was moving the dial and they were moving, but I'm like, I started wondering like, is the cloud that's passing me going to pass over someone else, right? I'm in another country. My family's in the United States at this point. So I'm like, I wonder if like the same cloud will ever pass over someone else that like in another part of the world, right? I think at that time, like I was thinking about like people that I care about and stuff like that, like my family or like people that I care about romantically, etc. So it started prompting me to think about that. So I do have some notes, very few, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss any key points of what I wanted to talk about. But so one thing is, you'll never have the same cloud pass you by twice. And the second bit of that is the cloud that passes over you will never be the same cloud that passes over someone else. Let's unpack that, right? So for the first one, you'll never have the same cloud pass you by twice. It just got me thinking about the fact that the moments that we experience, the moment that we're in, this exact moment right now, this exact day and time and everything still around me as it is, my living organisms, my plants behind me, my dogs, my family back at home where they're at, etc., my friends. This exact moment will never happen and it will never, ever be again. Ever. Exactly, with every single detail, the exact age that I am, my exact internal levels in my system, the exact mindset that I have right now, all the experiences behind me and what awaits me in the future. Like the moment that you are in this exact time will never, ever, ever pass you by again. And I think that when I think about that, I think about how unique and special and precious our time is, how unique this moment is, right? Incredibly unique. It's one of a kind. It will never be again. And it makes me, another thought to add to that, it makes me think about all the times that I personally can say I've wasted. The time that I've wasted, the precious time that I've wasted, the precious time that we've wasted, right? Letting time pass us by and losing that, the loss of that, the fact that I will only ever be this age once. I will only ever be this healthy once. I will only ever be, my dogs will only have all this life in them in this moment for a finite amount of time, right? Thinking about the fact that time is so finite, life is so finite, health is so finite, relationships are so finite. Everything has its expiration. So clouds in themselves, they're not solid. One, they're literally not solid, right? It's a combination of, and I'm not a meteorologist, right? I'm not a scientist, but from what I know, from what I remember from grade school, clouds are a my dog wanted to weigh in on that. He's like, I know you're not a scientist. You should see his face. But clouds, from my understanding, are essentially a conglomerate, if I can use that word, of precipitation, water, condensation, gases, and air particles that form in under certain specific weather conditions. So one, they're not a solid thing, right? Like if we could grab them, it's not a solid. You could punch through it, right? And they also don't have a fixed identity. So they're forever changing, just like we are as people, right? We don't have a fixed identity. We have things that are core to who we are, things that are very hard to break and let go of, ways of being that are very hard to break and let go of. But nothing about who we are is fixed. Nothing about our personality is fixed. Nothing about our physical form is fixed. The way I am right now can change in an instant, right? Like I could become an amputee. I could fall and bust my face and then need reconstructive surgery. But even then, I will never be the same, right? As we age, our skin is changing, our body's changing, our hair is changing, even if it's not aging related. As we think about like our diet, our nutrition, what we're consuming, if we're taking medication, if our hormones are off, like all of these things are always changing. There's nothing about us as people, for both internal, intellectually, physically, anything related to our personal lives and situations. Nothing in our lives is fixed. And I think sometimes, and I'm to blame for that, and I'm sure some of you can probably also contest to it, is that sometimes we think that things are permanent. We think that we get stuck in a situation, we get stuck in something about ourselves that we don't like. We get stuck in something about a situation that we don't like. We get stuck in a job. We get stuck in a problem where we're having trouble finding a solution, and we think of it as a fixed item. Nothing is fixed. I'm getting chills just thinking about it, but nothing is fixed. Nothing is fixed. And when I'm saying fixed, I'm not saying fixed as in repair, because fixed has two definitions. It probably has more than that. I'm talking about fixed as in something that is unmovable. So for example, I'll tell you something that's fixed. This tree outside of here, it is currently fixed. The roots are rooted into the ground. Very hard to move. Can it be moved? Of course, with a bulldozer, a huge like truck or crane, something very major can move it. But for the most part, it's a fixed object, right? Nothing about our lives is fixed, is stationary, is stuck, is unmovable, is unchangeable. And I think that when we think about our lives that way, when we think about characteristics of ourselves that way, when we think about situations, when we think about the things that we want, and we think of them as fixed, it's a detriment. We get stuck there, right? We get stuck thinking that nothing can ever change. We get stuck in thinking that there is no solution. We get stuck and unable to see other types of solutions to the problems that we have. I'm gonna take a sip of coffee break. In my previous video, I talked a little bit about perspective. I talked a little bit about therapy, and after this, I will be making a video about the type of therapy that I'm doing. But again, and I will keep advocating for therapy. I'm not saying all therapists are great, because I've had therapists that I've had to break up with. I have therapists, I'm pretty sure there are therapists out there that worsen people's conditions. Finding a therapist is hard, and finding a good therapist is harder. But good therapy can be helpful in the sense that it is going to help shift your perspective. Those situations that you think are fixed, that part of you that you think is like irreparable, that part of you that you think is, you got it from your mama, you got it from your daddy, and you can't do anything about it, that part of you that makes you think that this is not possible for you, therapy can help you flip that and see it differently and see it from a different angle, and can also give you tools to address your thinking regarding that situation and ideas on how to reshape your thinking. Therapy changes your perspective, or it has the possibility to. In my research about clouds and movement and all of these things, I also, what came up there was when the cloud, because obviously, well, from what I understand about, what would it be called? Astronomy? Astronomy, yes. From what I understand about astronomy is things are oscillating on a circle, right? So I believe the earth is round. Let me start with that, because some people are gonna be like, well, the earth is flat, so what are you talking about? I personally believe the earth is round. So I'm speaking from a perspective of the earth being round. The other thing that came up is because we're on a circle, we're oscillating, there's an equator, there's day, there's night, there's a sphere, there's a circular motion of the clouds moving around the planet, etc. When the cloud returns again, even if it were to return over me, it's not going to return the same way that it was before, right? So I say that to say also, when you think about, let's say you have a specific problem right now, you have a very specific problem happening in your life. Let's say you've had this problem before. Your experience with this problem right now is not the same as the experience that you had with it 2 years ago. The way that you're experiencing this problem right now is specific to who you are right now, who you are in this moment, how you dealt with it last time, where you gave up last time, how you picked it up, what research you did, who you consulted, how it ended, how it made you feel after it ended. So every experience, every encounter, every situation that you have is unique. Whether it's a positive thing like falling in love or having a baby or getting married, starting a new job, moving, or something negative like you get a flat tire or you get fired from a job or you have a loss of a child or you're mourning the loss of a pet or the loss of someone in your life or you get into a physical altercation. Each situation is unique. Yes, there are characteristics that you can pick up and say, this worked last time, but we can't apply the same rules to every situation because they're always changing. They're always going to be different. They're always going to be different. Yeah. So I think that's what I wanted to say on the first bit of you'll never have the same cloud pass you by twice. And the second bit of the cloud that passes over me will never pass over someone else again is also to remind us that everything that I just said applying to self, it's also important when we think about our relationships and situations with other people, situations that involve other people, is that and I've talked about this in other videos, but it's like we're all experiencing things from our lens, from our placement, from who we are, from what we've dealt with, from what we've experienced. So when you think about it that way, and you think that has to apply to every single person that you know, give people grace. My eye twitched there. But give people grace. You should give people grace. And I'm not saying you should overlook everything or you should tolerate things or you should be incredibly forgiving and overgiving and overlooking things. No. But what I'm saying is give people grace when it's due. Not people that are completely inconsiderate, oblivious, don't want to hear you, rude, disrespectful. No. But if someone comes to you and says, I'm sorry, I felt XYZ or I feel XYZ, hear what they have to say, determine whether or not you think it's sincere, and then make a decision on how you want to move forward. Whether that means moving forward towards remaining in contact or no longer being in contact, right? But you have to consider that it's like they have a different lens that they're using. They're in a different position than you are, right? None of us are fixed. So their position is changing just as yours is changing. We're all turning and evolving. Different things are coming at us at different directions, and it's changing us in every single moment that we're alive. I think that's all I want to say on this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I look forward to talking to you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for watching.